So it's finally season 2. Excited?
Yes, I am.
This week I thought we'd talk about something that the whole country's talking about, the whole nation's talking about.
What, Zinat Aman in London?
That's not exactly what I had in mind. I was thinking of Brexit. I thought we'd do a Brexit special. फिर मैंने सोचा government को नहीं पता Brexit के बारे में हम क्या बताएंगे.
No, that's true actually. Have you lost your voice by the way?
Oh, you noticed?
Yes.
Very Theresa May style. Can you just tell? When she gets nervous, stressed, excited, her voice goes, it started croaking. So I woken up a couple of days ago without a voice.
So which of these three things are you?
With you, it'll probably be stressed.
Oh, I can understand that actually. मुझे लगता है ना कि the Brexit thing, the whole Brexit impasse, the key to it lies in the Prime Minister's name. When you have a Prime Minister who's called May, naturally decisions are not going to be easy to come by. It may happen, it may not happen. It may go Britain's way, it may not go Britain's way. If you had a Prime Minister who was called, I don't know, William, Wilhelmina, then you know that, it will go our way.
Are you sure about that? It could be, will it go our way?
Actually, I never thought about that. Welcome to the Shabby and Man podcast. We're partners, parents, podcasters, broadcasters.
And everything else in between.
And this is the season 2 of our podcast. And we thought that we are going to set the scene for what we normally like to talk about
in
the podcast.
In case people missed season 1.
Season 1.
And you have no idea what we're about.
Yes.
You can either A, go back and hear us, or you can tell us what we're going to be talking about this season.
Yeah, that's true. And you can hear us on all the regular podcast sites, right? We're on Apple, we're on Google, we're on Spotify, we're on Acast and Podbean and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Now, as we say in the introduction every time, we are both professional broadcasters. We've been married for close to 20 years. We've got 2 kids, 11 and 14. And we essentially discuss our lives in India because that is where I was born and raised in India. That is where the 2 of us met. You're a Londoner, of course. So we talk about our
I'm a Londoner through and through. I don't know why I said that in an American accent. But
yeah,
anyway.
but so that's what it is. The podcast is about our lives there, our lives here. The differences, the similarities. For instance, festivals, I think you and I are constantly trying to keep our children rooted to their Asian culture, even though they may be Londoners, yeah? They were born and they're raised here. So, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, do we feel the difference the most when there's a big festival?
I'm not falling for that one. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, okay, don't correct me. Don't correct me on the podcast. Correct me later. But don't you think that when it's Holi, Diwali, these kind of typical Indian things, which is when we really... It's always about the 2 of us looking back and saying, "Hi, India mein aisa to tha."
Because it's different. We were talking the other day only about Holi. Now, for me, Holi, for my memory, Holi is Banaras and all, and Gujia, Bhang. Not that once a year, you're officially allowed to have Bhang. Papri chaat.
Gulal. यहाँ पे कितने साल हो गए हमें गुलाल लगाए.
Now here, if you live in London, it's very different. You can't really do all that unless you go to...
a specific place, right?
Like unless you go to a town hall or something and throw it
Asian clubs and all. I know that you can do all of that. But there you have to make that effort to go there on a trip. Or I think part of the joy is lost because you can't do it on the day. Normally it has to be on a weekend which is way past Holi or way before Holi. And so there's no fun in that anyway. That's one thing I noticed actually when I moved here. And I mentioned it to you earlier as well. Ki yahan pe, is country mein, UK mein, be it weddings... birthday celebrations, anniversaries, whatever it is, everything happens on a weekend. Everything is it. So it's not necessarily on the day of the celebration.
Because people are working 9 to 5.
No, that's true, but so are people in India. But people in India don't, you can still throw a party on a Tuesday night and expect people to turn up in droves and they'll still be going to work the next day. Why can't people do it here? Yeah, so, cultural differences, cultural similarities, all of that. That's what the podcast is about.
Another thing that we talk a lot about is culture. Now, you're Bengali... I'm Punjabi. I think in the last season we've touched a lot on how you like to put sweet in everything.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't.
That's true. And what do you think our children will imbibe more of? I mean, which culture? Because although it's Bengali versus Punjabi, but I think we're both quite cosmopolitan, I'd like to think, right? We're not like typical Punjabis or Bengalis. And much as we would love to embrace
I don't think you want to go there. What is a typical Punjabi? What are you?
No, in the sense that you like tadka in everything. You're loud, and everything is about party.
You just have to give you one mocha, and you started. Oh, Punjabis are loud.
Yeah,
I like the way you just kind of slid that in.
No, I mean it's what I'm trying to say. Bengalis are
I don't know what you're trying to say. Spell it out, please.
Bengalis, they like to put coconut oil in their hair, and they like to read books. And no, of course not. I'm just kidding. What I'm saying is that cultural stereotypes can actually be very pronounced. In our case, it's not so. You've grown up in India, in the foothills of the Himalayas, as you like to remind me. You've grown up in London. I've grown up in Delhi. You know, speaking about culture, I want to ask you this, and I know that we talked about this very briefly in season 1 as well, that how is it that you, especially since, you know, in your childhood, you were shunted from one country to the other. You know, you've lived there, you've studied
shunted.
there. Yeah, okay, very lovingly put on a plane and then sent away to a lovely boarding school.
Nice way of putting it, yeah.
Yes, and then you were brought back. So you've done this, that, here, there a lot, right? So why is it, or how is it that you didn't feel out of place, or you didn't feel uprooted, or you didn't feel that you didn't belong either there or here?
Now, many people might think, Dhobi ka kutta, na ghar ka, na ghat ka. But I like to think, you know, it's the best of both worlds. I've lived here in England, I've lived there in India. I've enjoyed both places just as much.
Because I've noticed this, especially lately, you know, whenever there's a mention of either a presenter or a show here in the UK papers, and you'll always say, oh, you know, back in the 80s, you know, you talk about Chris Tarrant, you'll talk about so-and-so, you'll talk about Noel Edmonds, you know, I remember Noel's house party, I remember that, I remember the big breakfast. So it
90s, please.
Yeah, 90s, okay. So it feels as though you never went away. And yet, I think you're equally soppy about all those 80s Bollywood movies and songs, and many of which even I didn't see. So I think it's quite incredible how you've managed to kind of, you know,
wasted childhood.
A wasted childhood, completely. It's not got you anywhere, but at least you can order kadak masala chai in India in Hindi, and you can enjoy your full English breakfast here as well. Order a pint.
Now, people have noticed that one thing that we've done, or we haven't done, is that we've had no guests.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably one of the rare podcasts ours which doesn't have a guest, right?
Well, which guests want to come? It's so hard to get a word in anyway.
No, don't say that. Listen, if it was a guest, I'd be much nicer. I wouldn't feel the need to fill every gap, every silence. By that,
such a radio pro.
Yeah,
Fill
that's
the
true.
Talking about radio and TV, you've been busy the last couple of weeks and all. So you had once told me that, listen, I've done and dusted TV, but you've gone back to it.
Yeah.
More details later. We won't actually divulge what you're doing.
Yes. TV came calling again. And I do feel that, you know, it is being in the media, being on radio is what I do best, and it is my first love. But everything else I've done, I've enjoyed it so much. Be it writing a book, be it hosting shows, be it doing television.
But
and now that
TV ka jhanjat, makeup.
वो सब तो है. And I do find that it's a bit of a jhanjat, but I think the rewards are really great. And, you know, it's been fantastic. I mean, being on set, being in front of the camera, it's a different kind of thrill. And if it's kind of fallen into my lap again, I'd be a fool to say.
So, one camera? Or...
Quite a few cameras. Our analytics told us that, you know, one of the most popular podcasts from season 1 was the one where we had our kids on the show. And it was exactly a year ago, I think. It was during their Easter break last year that they guested on our show. Do you think we'll be able to rope them in one more time to another episode?
Sure. Don't even think about it. You know, they're older, they're wiser. They know how the system works. They'll want payment. They'll want food. They'll want water.
Yes, time off, more time to play their games. Yeah, that's true. Maybe not worth it. Bad idea.
So the whole of last year, you were extremely busy with interviewing film stars, Bollywood stars, premieres. So we'll keep doing that as well, because I enjoy listening to your reviews.
Yes, I've missed the last few Bollywood films because I've been previews rather, because I've been so busy with other stuff. But I suppose it's always good to talk about something which is culturally relevant to us, right?
And maybe we can drag in some A-list stars also into the show here and there.
Yeah, let's see.
By the way, when I say A-list, it means a list. I have a list of stars. Another thing we touched on a lot in season 1 was food. Because we love talking about food. I'm a foodie, you're a foodie. I had once done hotel management years and years ago.
Yeah.
Not that I remember anything about it. But
no, I'm the foodie who likes to cook and put up photographs on Instagram. And you're the critic who tells me why that picture is so bad and what I should have done to photograph it better, even though it may taste really good.
Photograph tastes good?
No, even though the dish may taste good.
So, we're talking about food. Your food career is moving forward finally.
Yes. Yeah, I'm hoping that in season 2, before our podcast season 2 ends, we'll be able to announce something nice. But there are a couple of things in the pipeline which I'm very excited about. And of course, as we said, food is big with both of us. And it's the trend. Isn't it the trend? I mean...
The trend is to be vegan.
That's true. And
I could never be a vegan because
I think it's too hard. I
just love
vegetarianism,
cheese.
yes, but veganism cuts out even dairy and eggs and all of that.
No, but people do it. If you can do it, good on you.
Yeah, and I think they say that traditionally being vegetarians, for Asians it must be easier, right? Because if you are a typical Hindu, Brahmin, just to give an example, you would be a vegetarian anyway. So you're not even tempted by meat and all of that.
This is another misconception I think people in Britain have, that they think all Asians, all Indians are vegetarian.
Yeah, of course.
But I think
that's not true at all.
I think in India, 80% of Indians are non-veg.
Meat eaters.
Non-veg, as they say.
Yeah, that's true.
अरे भाई तुझे एक non-veg joke सुनाता हूँ. So this was just a little teaser, a little snapshot of what we've done in season 1 and what we're hoping to do in season 2.
That's right. More of what we've done already and hoping to bring you more exciting stuff from our lives. I mean, if only people saw how we record this, in our kitchen. And of course, we prep in the sense that we know what we're going to talk about, because it is something that we have normally discussed in the week.
Apart from this episode.
But we just thought it'll be nice to say first, thank you to everyone who supported us in season 1. To say welcome on board.
A very, very big thank you, because there's so many of you.
To say welcome on board to new people who we are hoping would join us for season 2. And you always say this, that it's so important to be regular. And so I'll have to probably find a regular slot in my engagement diary, you're saying?
Yeah, regular in life, regular in your ablutions, and just regular.
We're just going to leave it there.